by wishing all of you good morning. Good morning, everyone. I want to extend a warm welcome to each of you as we gather for the fourth day of our national level faculty development program on innovative pedagogical strategies using artificial intelligence and digital platforms, organized by the Department of Commerce using Kristu Jayanti College, Autonomous, Bangalore. From the last 3 days, we have impressed ourselves in the world of leveraging artificial intelligence for personalized learning experiences in modern classrooms. Gamifications and leveraging AI in education, implementing intelligent tutoring systems, and enhancing the student encouragement. Today, we are shifting our gears to focus on adaptive learning technologies, customizing education for every student. This is a great opportunity to further expand our toolkit and learn new techniques to enhance our teaching practices. We are fortunate to have an expert facilitator with us today, Dr. Ankit Saxena, Associate Professor, GLA University, Mathura, who will guide us in today's section. Sir, insights and guidance always enrich our understanding and open up for new avenues of our work. On behalf of entire Christianity family, I am warm welcome to you, sir. We're delighted to have you here. I'm honored to extend a warm welcome to our participants from different institutions nationwide. Your involvement enhances our learning journey and encourages collaboration. I would like to welcome FDP convener, organizing committee, and all the faculty members of Department of Commerce who has been a pillar of support in organizing this FDP. We warmly welcome each and every one of you. Now I request Dr. Satish Kumar TK for profile briefing. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rajkumar sir. It's my honor to introduce Dr. Ankit Saxena, who is the resource person for today's session. Dr. Ankit Saxena is working as Associate Professor at Institute of Business Management, GLA University, Mathura. He is a gold medalist from Dayal Education Institute, Dayal Agra. His academic interests are business, paragraph of taxation, financial management, wealth management, and financial derivatives. He has published a number of research papers and contemporary business case studies. He has also imparted consultancy to corporate entities in developing their strategies for business process. Dr. Ankit Saxena has also visited various academic institutions for interacting with the students, for imparting insights about emerging paradigm of education, as well as motivating them for understanding the relevance of education in their career building. Sir, session is for you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And first of all, a sincere thanks to the entire organizing committee. And I always praise the themes and the kind of topics are being picked for the faculty development programs organized by the college. And this year also, this time also, they are going with something like very contemporary, very, very important. As a teacher, we always wish to impart learnings, which are making some significant changes in the lives of our learners. So it's not, in academic fraternity, there's nothing like student term existing for long. We all sort of deal with the learners, and our job is basically, to make sure that they are learning. And that's where this, the session's topic was very much appealing to me, that where we are talking about adaptive learning technologies. So I'll basically focus on the mechanism here, what can we do, what can be done. And obviously, this is the, very, I guess, right time to discuss about this, because with the, COVID time and this emergence of online platforms and online things and the emergence of AI in last few years, things have drastically changed. And the good thing is now we are sort of thinking about integrating all things together. Now, just imagine, we 5 years, 10 years back, it was, yeah, education was evolving at its own pace, but now we are integrating, the artificial intelligence into it. Students are using it. You cannot avoid it. So why not to use it in a way which makes it, a better learning environment? You cannot run away. So I was going through a speech of a Hong Kong Prime Minister a few days back, and he said that, earlier we used to spend crores of rupees, on making an animation scene. And today, on a single prompt, you just tell what do you want in that scene, and the AI will give you a scene that is far, far better than, spending crores of rupees and dollars. We will not be able to get that particular output. So that's something is really, really fascinating, and I really see education that evolving in the next coming years in a very different manner. So I guess it is good to be prepared for the changes coming up. And yes, any technological intervention, any learning pedagogy that makes the learning better, we definitely have to support it. We have to definitely adapt it. So that's what the opening remark, and I'll just go through a very small presentation that I've created for this session. And then definitely, if there are some queries, we can definitely take up them. So I'll try to, yeah, just a, so as we discussed about the session title, that is adaptive learning technologies, we are trying to customize education for every student. And let me tell you, this term is obviously, in discussion nowadays a lot. Earlier, we used to talk about customized learning. Then we sort of talked about personalized learning. And then now we are basically moving towards adaptive learning. So that is a transition that is taking place. And we need to understand the basic intricacies of the adaptive learning. And today, it's a very good platform where we all academic fraternity members are interacting and being together, for discussion on this thing. So initially, when I joined my academics way back in 2006, I was like, I was just 24 years. And at that time, and I was like very enthusiastic about imparting something that I've learned over the year. And that initial years zeal was there. And yeah, I love teaching it, to the best of my interest. And that is where a lot of effort I used to put, just to make sure that, the learnings that I'm imparting to my learners, is making some significant changes to them. So there were different pedagogical interventions that we all try. It's not like me or you. Every one of us, try our very, very, sort of all possible interventions that we can implement in our classes. And that is where we all aim to strive for perfection in our academic delivery. So that's a constant and I guess simple motive to be in this profession. I normally quote this in my classes that the day I'll be not motivated to come in the class and sort of learn myself, I'll be probably saying goodbye to this profession, and that keeps me going. And that is something is very, very important. So just briefly starting with the session's agenda, what I want to cover, and then we'll have a discussion on it. Queries can be taken. So I'm keeping an eye on the chat box also. If you have a query, you can put that query in the chat box. So definitely at the same time, I can also pick up that query. So though the time limit is there, so we'll have to sort of manage accordingly. So the session agenda is like this. So we'll be moving with the initial part of the adaptive learning, and then how we can sort of improvise with this customization in the education system right now. So if we start with the basics, like what is adaptive learning? So here, the important part is we are basically talking about the uses of AI. I told you that initially, there was a customized learning. So customized learning was basically, customizing the content and the learning methods for a group of learners. So like making a different syllabi for a different group. Like I want to teach you marketing, I'll be teaching you this. I want to teach you finance, I'll be teaching you this. So there was a customization in terms of what learning we wanted to offer. And then we talked about personalized learning. So there we started understanding that every learner has a different, pace of learning. So I guess this is a problem that every educator, must have encountered in their life. So when you enter in the class, there are 20% student, those who are at your pace, maybe near your pace. There are 30% student, those who are trying their best to be, with you, but because of whatever, situations or, limitations, they're not able to reach to that particular level at which you are delivering. And that happens to every one of us. And there are, I believe, firmly, and it's a universal fact. Let me tell you, I used to wonder that I'm here at my college, probably student strength is not that, good or whatever, but it's a universal phenomena. Recently, in last 5, 6 years, I've interacted with n number of colleges students, and what I've found, this proportion works always. So there'll be 20% learner who will be like very much nearby your learning delivery, whatever you are giving, and then next 30% might not be that much, near to what you are trying to deliver, but they are putting their efforts for sure. And remaining 50%, sometimes they probably are not able to understand, what's happening nearby them. And this proportion may vary. Really, this proportion may vary from subject to subject. This proportion may vary from teacher to teacher. This proportion may vary from place to place. That some subjectivity, is always there. That has to be there. I'm not saying this is a universal proportion, but yeah, somehow and some, this proportion will exist in some numbers. And that is where, the uses of AI and data analytics, to personalize the learning experience. And you have to modify your content at times. You have to modify pace of your delivery. You have to sometimes modify the assessment tools, for the individual needs. So initially at our university, in over last 15 years of my journey, we have experienced that we have tried all possible ways of dealing with this variety of learners that is available. So sometimes someone said, let us put all slow learners together, let us put all fast learners together, let us put all mix of the learners together. And there are different theories and there are different arguments for each method and point. But the point is, at times it has been experienced that heterogeneity is something that is much needed in education, and some research also underlines the same line. So now, what is important in adaptive learning? We are talking about artificial intelligence, some technological intervention. We are talking about data analytics. So I'll just quickly share one insight over here before moving to the adaptive learning. What exactly is somehow needed in the beginning itself. We need to capture one thing, that whether we need certain things over here or not. So right now what I'm sharing, it's a template that I created. It was actually a part of accreditation process that we did, but it gave me some really good insights. So like the batch is there, and I'm not going in details over here. So what we did for every assessment artifacts, in a very nutshell summary, we just noted down scores of all the students, and we just sort of try to gauge that what is happening over here. So the total number of students are this, and what is the average score that they are able to achieve on each artifact of assessment that we are putting up. And then we just went with a 50% cutoff just to see. Let us assume that, okay, by normal distribution, if everyone is like able to reach to that mean value, we'll be finding ourselves like being successful. So how many of the students could get above the threshold? How many students could not meet the threshold? And that is where you get an insight. And once you will just do it, and I just prepared a summary of this. I'm just telling you the uses of data, and that's what today nowadays we are blessed with automations, learning management systems. We can put all these informations over there. Yeah, data entry might be a tedious task over here, but that allows you to gaze a very important learning. So what I could understand over here, if I give you one simple example, so like in one of my assignment, which was a lesser marks assignment, the performance of the students was pretty good. So they scored 4.36 on an average. So they were like, all of them were getting this particular thing done. So probably either this assignment was way too easy, or probably they understood that topic in a better way, that we need to introspect. And then you could get this idea, like I was a bit worried about this thing, and it was a very important question that I asked them. And most of the students were not able to perform on this particular part. And to be honest, I remember I taught this topic in much detail in my class, and I gave twice the time that was devoted to this topic. But still, the students could not get it. So somewhere there was a point of introspection from my side that probably my way of delivering this topic probably needs a revision. And let me tell you, I have spent like more than 16 years at this university, and prior to that, I have 3-4 years of my fellowship experience. So close to 2 decades of my experience, tells me that there are topics, and they will keep troubling you, challenging you, and you will find them difficult to impart. So what I'm trying to make you understand here, if we have some data like this, and we use some data analytics tool like that, and we get to know, okay, this is something that my attainment level at this particular artifact was 1, because my attainment was not even close to what I was planning for, 70% and above. So, and this is the point where I'm taking the cutoff at only 50%. If I increase my cutoff to 60%, this number would have been even worse. So just to, I hope that gave you a fair bit of idea how we are putting data analytics into the picture, and that allows you to understand, where the lacunas are there. So as a teacher, we always keep on asking, is everyone getting it? So, and they will nod their heads, but probably they might, and they may not get everything that you're teaching over there. So first thing is, we have to sort of learn. First of all, we have to train ourselves, and it's a wonderful initiative by the Kristu Jayanti College and the collaborating college over here to have an FDP and come together, and bring all academic people together at one platform to at least think about it. Let me tell you, it's a very much the need of the hour right now, because if we don't understand, I have few friends in my uh, obviously in my university as well, and in my nearby surroundings, and they are by profession into teaching as well. And what I found, a few proportion of those people, are still relying on what they studied in their time in their universities, and that is not going to help. I keep on warning them. I keep on telling them, you might be finding a numerical book is there, and these are the numericals, and these were the numerical, and these will be the numerical, or this was the theory, and this is the theory, and this will remain the theory. So probably then you will not be justifying, because things are changing dramatically. And in fact, what has happened, in the generation shift, this millennium were there, then we are talking about Gen Alpha and all. The Gen Alpha is like pro to technology, and I keep on challenging myself, and I keep on challenging them also, that you cannot beat me in technology. I know more than what you know in Excel. I know more than what you know in Python. Obviously, it's a positive way that I'm putting it, so that it gives them a competition point, that okay, we'll be doing one simple exercise. You will do it. I'll do it. Let's see who does it faster. Obviously, I've done it multiple times. That is an advantage with me. But that's like, they can put up any query, and let's sit together and try and solve it. Somehow these methods are working far better than the traditional way of teaching, because now they get into the core of learning. So that is important. And what I just shared with you, we have to have data, and data-driven insights will help you. So feedback is also very, very important here. So I shared all this information with my students, and I actually went in the class, and on that topic, we had, another session. So though I felt it was a bit late in terms of like exams were done, the subject was over, then you are doing it. So that is where the adaptive learning will be very, very handy. It will take time. Right now, it will take time. We are talking about it. It's a wonderful thing. But what I believe, adaptive learning platforms are still in the process. So I've dealt with few right now, but still they are in process, work in progress. So that will take certainly some time. So once, in fact, the problems we'll discuss later, but the basic problem is coming with the intent of the teachers and the learners here. So that's what is also one important insight. And then we have to personalize it. So every individual, will have a different pace of learning. So at what pace they are learning? So that pace we need to understand, and then at that pace we have to deliver. Those who are coming from commerce subjects, like I take up here, like what all finance subjects are quoted. And recently I have shifted my interest to altogether to financial analytics and financial modeling. I am learning new languages, R, Python, SQL, because these are the things that are needed in the market nowadays. So industry is asking, people with these skills. So we have to provide as an educator, these resources to the industry. So that is where when I teach Python in my class, so first, the hurdle that remains in the class, sir, we have never done the programming. It's a programming language. We cannot learn it. And I try to keep, giving them my example. I was a pure commerce student. I never had any exposure of whatsoever, any kind of programming language other than HTML, which I studied as a half credit course somewhere. So I also had no clue about Python, but it's not like an alien language. So like third generation, fourth generation, simplified languages are there, and they're very interactive based. You just give them a prompt and they'll respond to you. And it just, the point is that it should know the exact prompt, what is to be given for that particular, analysis. So that is something is needed. So here, what is important here, that traditional education, was assuming that one size will fit all. That cannot work. Now we have all agreed to it. And the adaptive learning, will create a kind of personalized experience. And that is something is very, very important that we need to do. So right now, what is happening? The current trend is all about that K to 12, the adaptive learning is being used in India. It is starting, to be implemented at some be good quality schools. And yeah, we are also aiming towards the adaptive learning in higher education and corporate learning training. So nowadays, we understand that every employee, will not be learning at the same pace. So let us give them module. As of now, the initial trends are like they have created a module which is self-paced. So if you want to listen to that particular module at 2.x, 2x or 1.5x, you can do it. Assess the learning with the some assessment tool. If you are good at it, you keep doing it, and probably you can complete it in 10 hours. Someone who is not able to qualify the assessments, he will keep revising the content that was shared earlier, and then he'll keep doing it. So it's a very simplistic way that we are dealing with the things right now. And I really doubt the kind of assessments that are being put into the modules these days. So I'll not name any portal over here because it might not be the correct platform right now, because it will go on the YouTube. So I'm not naming any platform, but I hope you understand the thing that I'm talking about. So sometime, the platform that is running, so they also want that the maximum people should complete their certificates. And in that order, what they do, they compromise on certain levels of learning, and which is not the ideal way. The adaptive learning, will work only when the adaptive learning remains as strict as a physical teacher. So we normally not let any learner pass the subject unless and until we are sure that he has learned the basics of that particular paper. So he must score 40 marks. Will not be lenient in like, oh, let us give 40 to everyone, then we'll see who gets 80 and 90. That's never the method of assessment, and that should never be a method of assessment. So when you're allowing someone to interact with the technology, learn at own pace, then why not to allow him, or put him in a situation where he's trying to learn it actually. So that quality of assessment is really in question mark these days, and that will, I hope, that will improve in some ways. And all of us, the academicians, if they take charge of it, probably that thing will improve. Until these are like paid certificates, it's like in finance we talk about the paid rankings. So paid ratings, what you call. So if you go to rate your security to a credit rating agency, there's a fees involved with it. The higher rating you get, higher fees you pay. So the credit rating agency has also a profit-making motto here, that if they provide more good ratings, probably they'll get better fees. In 2008, it happened. Like it's an open secret to everyone. All the world-renowned rating agencies were providing AAA ratings to all the subprime categories of assets, and that created all this chaos overall. So that is a point that we need to be clear. So we have to understand that assessments and the modules are to be designed in a way which makes it actually not killing the core intent of learning. That is the important part. So adaptive learning will prevail and survive and sustain only when the learning is taking place. So as of now, we are making adaptive learning platforms. We are putting those AI things and dynamic feedback things into loop. But at the same time, that commercial intent is up there because they want that their courses are subscribed by more people, completed by more people, and then obviously they keep getting more uh, even number of certifications aspiring people. So that is a point where things are sort of struggling, and that is where the intervention from the government, regulatories or education ministry will be required later on if we start implementing this in our programs. So at our university, initially last year only, we have started with the simulation software. So like students are given a simulated environment. They are working on one hypothetical company. They have the entire data sets, and there are various situations. So they are dealing with the situation. And for each situation, they are given like 3 decisions are to be taken. They have to evaluate the decision with their understanding. Then they can choose either of the decision. No decision in the business is going to be a wrong decision. So what I learned during delivering that particular, simulation to my students, that they were coming up with a lot of analytical things, and all the 3 decisions which were lying in front of them, they analyzed all with their limited understanding. As an educator, my role was to, tell them, okay, this is a right way of analyzing that decision or not. And then they selected one particular decision. The other group selected the other decision. And now what happens next with that decision, has to be dealt with. And if you are lagging behind, how will you make up for that, deficit? And it's a wonderful way of learning. And what I find, initially we were doing it for half an hour a day, and slowly and gradually the students' involvement in that particular, simulation was like they wanted to compete now to each other, and they want to, learn what new dimensions will come. And that was a good learning experience, a comprehensive one. So these are the things that are happening in the current setup. Why adaptive learning? It's simple, we need personalization. By now we have discussed that thing. We have to have personalization for sure. There's no point denying that thing. The motivation and engagement is one other important part, as the example that I gave you right now for the simulation part. So the motivation and engagement was there, and once they get motivated to learn, self-learning, experiential learning makes a very, very important contribution. So that is a point, and they start enjoying it. At the moment they start enjoying it, they'll be part of it, and they'll be making more learning and outcome from that. And every student has a different learning style. Someone looks at these screenshots and they want visual things over there. Someone is good at my initial way was of learning via visual things, but then slowly and gradually I'm commuting a lot these days. So the visual, if you keep watching screen for a long time, if you're traveling like for 4 or 5 hours, it is not that conducive to your health. So I started hearing a lot. So auditory learning is there. So I keep on listening to various podcasts and simple things, and that's like you're not being affected health wise also, and you're listening to that thing. And every person has a different learning style. So adaptive learning will be able to like provide, if you want to be listen to a podcast about a topic, you can do that. If you want to see it on a practical web portal, how the data is dealing, so that it can be done. So that's the point. How this is going these days, we were having it in 1960s as well, when programmed instructions were there. We moved on to CPL, that is computer-based learning. The computers were evolving. Let me share my own experience. First time in my life, I probably saw the computer in 2000s. So my 10th result was there, which was published on a newspaper. And then in 12th, we got the results on the computer. And that is the first time I saw the computer. I was living in a very small town. My father was a banker. He was transferred to a very small town for some time, and I was there. And for the first time, I saw the computer on that particular time. So in India, the transformation took even place even after a decade or two, I say. So that computer-based learning were there, softwares were provided. I remember in the initial days, I hope every one of us must have used it. There was a typing master software. So just to, the computer was a new thing. And initially, there used to be classes for typewriting. I really wonder what were the days So I have attended those classes. I used to go to the typing classes, and they used to tell us that how these two hands and all fingers are to be used, and which finger is to be tapped on which key. And there was a very particular science about it. He was not letting you, use another finger to use that particular key. So and just imagine the things that have changed. I see my 10 years daughter now, and she's so fluent in typing on the keyboard, and she has not attended any classes. And kids these Gen Alpha, is having that traits inside them. So now what we are moving towards, we are talking about modern adaptive learning, where the data and the AI put together is actually providing them real-time personalization. One more advantage of AI that I will give you, the things, AI is obviously hampering a lot as well these days, because what is happening, whatever assignment, whatever assessment, whatever cases you will provide to your students, they will find a artificial intelligence, platform or something like that, which will allow them to submit an answer. So whatever cases you provide them in whatever format you'll provide them, they'll put it on some Gemini AI or ChatGPT or something like that. And obviously that analysis is going to be far better than what you can do. But the problem with this method is that your learning is, being killed. So here, the AI users is actually killing the learning process, because you didn't go through the case, you didn't understand the case, you didn't analyze the case, and even the presentation part is being taken care by the AI. You can give that prompt to the AI, and AI will do it for you. So this way, the way we are using AI, we are training AI right now. So ChatGPT, we are training ChatGPT. So whatever responses they get, and if you say, no, I want this, I want this, I want this, till you are satisfied, he's understanding, the human that is interacting with him, of that chat GPT. So that it is realizing that, okay, humans are satisfied at this level of response from me. And if they are interacting with high IQ intellectuals, they are learning higher. And that's where they basically we are training chat GPT these days. So I don't know. I don't know exactly where this will end and what will be the setup. I didn't imagine this shift in the method of learning so soon. It seems like we started using AI 2-3 years back, and now it is part of our every thing that we do. So that is how it is somehow facilitating learning if you keep interacting. And this is a side effect also, that if you're just using it to solve your assignments and cases, it is a killing thing. So what I did in my class and with my daughter, so my daughter came to me like, Papa, I need to understand, and I need to learn the Java. And I had a decent experience, command over R, Python, SQL. SQL is like a different thing. It's not that difficult, but I had no exposure of whatsoever on working on Java. So I asked her to let's sit together and let's play with the computer. On the computer, we will use a split screen. On the left-hand side, we'll keep any AI, ChatGPT we were using, and on the right-hand side, we'll keep the Java operating platform. And we will ask him, we want to learn Java today. It is our day one, and we want to start with the step by step. So today we want to learn 5 basic things. You tell us how to start and proceed. And ChatGPT was very generous in terms of providing us the prompts to start with, and we started with. So on the left-hand side, we were seeing it. On the right-hand side, we were doing it. And the good way, the thing was there that she was doing all this thing together, and she ran the code, and few of the codes were not finding it, happening. So they didn't execute. So she was like, Papa, this code is not working. I said, you ask him that this code is showing this error. Now what should I do? So ChatGPT can also commit error. It highlights at the bottom, no one reads it anyway. So then in that case, she understood, okay, the ChatGPT or AI can also make mistake. And then the ChatGPT provided a different code, and we executed the same code. I guess this way of phase-wise interaction with the ChatGPT, now she got a method of learning, and now I have assigned her this task. You will be doing this. I don't know exactly what I'm asking her to do, but I keep on giving her vague assignment, something that hits my mind. Okay, yesterday you did this, today you try this, and you just keep doing that. So the same thing I have experienced with my class student also. So a subject was there. So I told them, okay, we want to learn Python. So let us learn Python from AI. So, and let's see how the codes are coming up, or what they are providing, and what else we need to learn, and then how can we do it. And this method seems to be working pretty well. So rather than training ChatGPT, let's be trained together and understand, how can we control the prompts and the desired output. So that something is needed, and that's where I believe I learned a lot in this process, because I was sort of able to understand how can we use the artificial intelligence for better learning environment for my daughters as well as my students. So that's something as an educator you need to do. And uh, there are various innovations which are taking place, and let me tell you, you have to keep updated yourself. NLP is there. So if you want to go for dynamic question generation, you can use natural language processing. It's not that difficult. Initially, you will feel like, oh, what is NLP? I'm not talking about that today. But the natural language processing is there. You can just use simple prompts and codes, and the outputs will be there. So machine learning can be added. So we use machine learning and things like predicting the Nifty performance. What will happen if Donald Trump wins? He has won right now. So what will happen? This was the assignment that I gave to my students last week. So how this will shape up in the next week? Try to predict based on the numbers and based on the past data. So machine learning, has capacity of analyzing the large amount of data. So that is something, another problem is what uh, the problem with people like us is that initially I was like said in my introduction that I won that director medal, and I was proud of it. I still get a smile when I hear this. It's a thing that I did in 2005, 19 years down the line. Still, I'm very, very happy and proud of what I did in that time. But eventually, does it really matter today? I guess no. You were good in academics, fair, but things have changed altogether in last 20 years. And whatever I'm dealing with right now, whatever I teach right now, I was just one day I was visualizing. I started my journey teaching accounts, financial accounting only. Then I explored something like cost and management accounting. These were the subjects that I taught in the first 2 3 years. And today, what I'm teaching has nothing to do with the accounts and everything. And funnier part is the topics and the subject that I'm teaching right now, and which I'm known for in my university and nearby institutions. I never studied those topics in my schooling and graduation anywhere. So that's the pace at which the learnings have transformed. So machine learning is something that we did. So I have a friend in mechanical engineering background. He was very good at mathematics. So we sat together, we tried to run some data sets and just try to understand. I was like, there's a regression, and we commerce students are normally are very fine with the linear regression and multilinear. Multilinear will be far too difficult, but yeah, linear regression and multiple regression. We had no clue about. I had no clue about the logistic regression or probabilistic regression. And then we talk about heteroscedasticity over there. And then we talk about stationarity concept. We talk about the interdependence in the time series. And in regression itself, when I started reading the econometrics book, there were like hundreds of methods of regression, which the names were not known to me. And that is where the challenge comes for the educator to be updated. So all this will be implemented by our teacher only. All this will be implemented by a teacher only, and the teacher has to be updated with the technological interventions. If he's not updated with these methods, he'll not be able to execute it. That is the challenge. That's the real challenge. Now, what is the importance of customization in education? So, one thing that you must have observed in the class, we go on the day one, and in day one, day two, day three, we start and establish a rapport with the class, start understanding their requirement, and accordingly, we start delivering our content. So, I normally start my session with a simple assessment, which I call pre-teaching assessment, and I get to know what they know. So when I enter in the class, I have certain things in my mind that, okay, they have studied these subjects by now. They must be knowing this at least. So all of a sudden, without telling them, I just put them into a situation, which is a 0 mark test. They will not be assessed on that. You just need to, be very comfortable and think and then respond to those queries. And it's a comprehensive test. So it's a kind of learning gazing test that what they have learned by now. And that gives you a very scattered and wide profile that exactly what kind of audience you are interacting with. And unfortunately, what I've realized, over the years, the scores in that test, the same test, if I replicate, the scores are going down. So, and sometimes when we ask them that this is a basic thing, why don't you know that? So they will say, so in my college time, I was in COVID. And this will continue. Someone will say in my school time, I was in COVID. So I didn't attend the regular classes, and that way my learning zeal was disconnected. And then this is the output, what I'm lying in front of you. So it's difficult to actually make them realize that if they don't gear up and they don't sort of update themselves and keep giving this lame excuse, will not survive. We were also facing the same time, but I'm thankful to COVID time to learn a lot many things. It was a disastrous time. It was a forgettable era for sure. We lost too much in that time. But the only positive thing that I can take out that, okay, I learned a lot many technological things during that time. So that's the, somehow you need to sort of get something out of something. So as a finance guy, I normally keep on buying that. So we have to customize. The content can be customized. As I told you, you can see where they are not doing well, and then accordingly, on the real time, in adaptive learning, you'll be able to customize the things. So if suppose, just imagine a setup, you're taking a class, there's some AI intervention is placed, and it will happen soon, let me tell you. And some AI, intervention is there. Whatever, I spoke on, whatever the questions they were asking for, and that all interaction is being sort of gauged by the AI. And then, after the session, the AI tool might generate an assessment test based on the discussion and interaction that took place. And that will automatically go to all the students using some management system, learning management system, LMS, and then the students will respond to those queries based on the interaction. And then and there only, if someone is making a mistake, that feedback will go to him. And feedback is not like that this question was not correct. So what is the mistake that you are committing? And if you're not knowing and getting any topic, that report will be generated to the teacher as well. And I'm pretty sure this will happen sooner than I'm expecting. So these kind of interventions definitely will improve, the learning environment altogether. I'm very, very excited to see this happening in my class. So sometime, interacting on these smart platforms and techniques, we were using like group discussion we used to do some brainstorming session. And then what we started doing, we started using some online platforms. So there are online platforms nowadays available where everyone can join the discussion room online. And there's a whiteboard that becomes as your discussion point. And you can put up your things over there. So like you are putting something ABC, I said something like BCD, or someone is saying something like that and all. So what the AI is doing now, so there will be some, synonyms or some overlapping ideas. So AI will take care of that thing. So whatever things are making equivalent sense, they'll be clubbed together, and the idea are clubbed all together in different segments. So that works pretty well. So positive emotions are taken in one side, negative emotions are taken one side. The neutral emotions will be taken one side. So that text analytics comes into the picture. And integrating that text analytics, into the group discussions improves the quality of group discussion like anything. So then we start evaluating all the, clubbed ideas. Okay, group 1 is saying this, group 2 is saying this, and group 3 is saying this. So we are using the same traditional Delphi method over here, but we are integrating technology into it to make it more interactive, and people are aligning with everything that is being said, and without ignoring important facet of the learning over there. So that's something is very, very important. So there are a few important things in the adaptive learning that we need to sort of work. So data collection, as I showed you one template at the beginning, that's not the ideal template, but yeah, we need to have data. And that was, I was not happy with that data thing, though I was doing it on each assessment part. I showed you the final sheet. So after first assignment, second assignment, third assignment, fourth assignment, midterm exam, and then interim exam, real time that sheet was shared, but eventually sometimes like in end-term examination, I came to know that one topic was not taken them by them easily. So that was too late, I felt. So data collection has to be done on the real time, and that adaptive learning, using AI and ChatGPT, the scenarios that I'm talking about right now, might have helped us in doing that. So that's one part. AI algorithms will be needed. I guess a lot of work is being done on that, and soon we'll see a very different side of it. And then interactive content will definitely emerge. So uh, it was happening in the initial few edtechs were doing pretty good things. I will not name any edtech right now here again, because this will go on YouTube, I believe. So few edtechs in the beginnings were doing fantastically good. The sample videos that you will receive from them are amazing. But then suddenly, again, it's a profit game, and again, it's I guess quantity numbers, and then the quality does not sustain. So I believe lesser the quantity, better the quality will be a better profitable idea. But again, they want to cater to every possible subject, and that is where probably the quantity overtakes the quality. That's the challenge that we have in our hand right now. So how AI personalizing the learning? AI will capture the entire pace of what you're doing, what you're learning. I hope that AI intervention, or that not exactly AI intervention, but the technology intervention we are seeing right now. If your microphone is on, Google is listening to everything what you say. Google is right now knowing I have two devices lying on my left. So they know I'm delivering a session right now. So he knows my persona right now. The entire thing, the kind of Instagram reels I'll see, will depend upon what I say and speak throughout the day. So one fine day, I was finding myself very philosophical, and suddenly, at the night, I just thought, let us. Though I'm not a very social media pro person, rarely in a week time I will use it once. So I just said, let me see some things, and you won't believe the exactly same emotions that I shared somewhere, the same gyan was flowing on the Instagram. So that is how the technology and these things will intervene in our lives. So and everyone cannot be so good at doing at these tech interventions in the life. And another thing is machine learning models. So that is some of the machine learning models are there. We are developing. Every university is trying to develop their own machine learning LMS integration that is taking place. Every place I see it is happening at every place. I visited recently MDI. I recently visited one of the MNITs, and so that is where I found that they are having a very sort of the libraries are doing a lot of good job there. Some one of my cousin is studying in Canada, so there the portal that they had. The teaching will continue in the physical classes, but the portal you have to follow along with the classes, and that portal will gauge the learning that you are doing. So that was a good, she shared that credential with me, and I inquisitively asked her to share, and I just went through what they are doing, and that was really amazing because she was like having a entire set of material with her. The assignments were there. The classroom teaching is done in that particular order, and then the assignment has to be submitted. Deadlines are there. The instant feedback is there. So everything is integrated. So even the assignments that are being submitted, they are checked for the plagiarism, and their feedback report comes straight away. So if you're copying the assignment, that comes in the LMS record itself that your assignment was copied and the plagiarism was this, and quality of the content using some text algorithm was also evaluated. So that's how things are progressing. Obviously, they are faster than us. They are, I believe, 10, 15 years ahead of us. We need to pick it up, and somehow we need to sort of implement as soon as possible. So that is where this will bring a positive change in our things. So there are like if we talk about adaptive learning technologies, so we are talking about content customization, pace customization, and the learning pathways. So this I have already discussed recently in my discussion. There are various platforms. So one of the platform which is very popular, Newton is there, which is for mathematics kind of thing. And Dreambox is there, which is like, again, for math education for K to 8. And Smart Sparrow was also another platform. There are many, I'm not going in detail, but as of now, the integration of these platforms with the academic delivery, is in the process. Some MOUs are taking place. Some these, these techs will be sort of integrating and aligning with the academic institutes for long. And then the role of educator will change slightly. So the Newton, as I was talking about, so Newton on their profile, they say that the result scores, the test scores are improving, the engagement rates are better. So students are more into, like, if they're not able to solve one problem, one question, the portal, the platform will stop and retell the same learning in some other way so that they understand. And once they understand, the system understand this student is slow in terms of learning, the next topics will come on that slow pace of learning. So that is a customization that is being taken place in that. Obviously, it will benefit our students because the learners, let me say, so the learning will be personalized, their engagement will improve, and the learning outcomes must be better. And it is good for us also. Few people somehow, one of the discussion we were having at another platform, and they were like, will AI take up our jobs? Because AI will, if the students are studying from AI, they are being assessed by AI. So what will be the role of educator? I believe our role is significant uh, for long, because physical interaction in education, uh, as of now, I don't see that as being substituted. We need someone to interact with. If the world goes robotic one day, so then that might happen, and which will be like not affecting only education, it will affect everything. So some China videos that you see, the entire restaurant is based on robots and other things. So yeah, it is possible. It is possible to replace humans. Even in India, we have humanless branches being open, where the machines are there and the machines are interacting now with the customers also. That is doable, possible, but I believe some kind of guidance or some doubt clearing or some pedagogical intervention will be needed. So that is where I don't see that is happening in education, but you never know the future. There are various challenges to adaptive learning. We're talking big futuristic things right now, and the current state is not that promising because digital divide is a big challenge. We have devices, we have resources, but everyone does not have. And we are blessed to have the digital access, I believe. Uh, Everyone is not having it, so that's a problem. Data privacy will be another concern. The more of intervention, more of inclusion, more of interference of AI or something like that, people are not taking it up positively right now. I'm not happy with everything being shared with Facebook. Or I hope you must have seen where Mark Zuckerberg was questioned by the Senate, in the one of the court hearing, and the Senate members asked him that, do you uh, uh, know this, where I'm traveling and where I'm checking in and all. And because we have shared all location permissions and all, so the company knows it. And when company knows it, company can share that data. I'm not saying that they are doing it, but they can share this data to any concerned marketing partner. So if you're traveling somewhere, if you have reached to a particular destination, the marketing will be changing altogether because you are in a traveling mode and you are roaming around in a city. You'll be finding places to visit, things to do, and other things like that. So that is something like too much of interference of technology in your life. So I normally prefer not to even open the mobile data for a long time in my day. So if I'm not able to see mobile, why to open the mobile data for that long time? Why I'm allowing everything that is being said by me to be heard by him? So that's a concern that prevails and that will prevail all the time among all of us. I'm very pro to technology, but still I have that apprehension in my mind. And teachers' readiness is another challenge because we have to have training. Whatever things we discussed right now, and they look fascinating, they will be challenging also. So, because if you know that, okay, my students are having a different pace of learning, which we know right now also, and then that will be evidently, shared. How will you customize your delivery, to the variety of the student sitting in a class altogether? So that is where the high level of training, to deal with such difficult situations must be provided. So we, first of all, we have to assess these the same challenges, and how to address them. We have to provide access. Digital divide has to be, lower down. The data security has to be ensured. somehow, I don't know, this is a difficult thing. This is the difficult thing, most difficult thing that I see in this paradigm. Everywhere when you open any, and when you install any software, they ask you for certain permission. And let me tell you, every individual who thinks about the security of the data or the device, they are very much apprehensive about allowing every access to every app. So you don't want to do that. So that's something that has to be somehow taken care of. I don't know how that can be done right now. Some methods probably may evolve. And then the educators training to use that technology and integrating into the curriculum and addressing the adaptive learning paradigm. So that is another thing. So I'll just keep it short. I'll just come to the final things over here. So first thing is, what are the steps for us as an educator? We have to set clear goals. We have to have a platform. As of now, very few top grade universities or schools are having the platforms. Some are in the process of getting them. And the platform has to be, I guess I told you that it has to be a comprehensive platform. And then finally, you will analyze and adjust what is going on there. So I guess the good way will be to start small, to continuously improve it, and encourage the student ownership into the things. So some of the universities like Arizona State University and Newton, they were together. Smart Sparrow, was used in medical training, and the results were very good, but the cost is very high. So we have to sort of understand this thing, and somehow that cost benefit analysis is also something that we sort of think of. So future is there. So there will be certain AI advancement. I see augmented reality, virtual reality is a wonderful thing. We had certain videos in that domain. So like when you see the history, via virtual reality, being in that situation, or if you talk about astronomy, something like that, you're talking to, I just took my, kids to planetarium, and they visited that planetarium, and some videos were there. They were in that setup and scenario. They were very happy to learn about it because most of the things they felt they were there. And it's something that reality part, brings a very huge amount of learning, and lifelong learning enhancement will be there. So beyond classroom, corporate training, online courses, certifications, they are actually very much in the picture nowadays. So we have to create a culture. We'll have to probably create a culture of adaptive learning. Collaborations will take place. Awareness has to be improved, and regular evaluation will be much needed over there. And finally, if I just conclude, what I have tried to discuss in this particular session was regarding the, this adaptive learning, will enable the personalization, which is needed. You cannot deny it, because learners, will receive tailored support if they are not getting some topics or some methods. And if they continue doing that, so the learning delivery, AI can customize, and the data, will provide and facilitate that. And that will improve. At times, what happens? He asked you a query, you tried to answer, and again, he was not getting that top concept. You again tried to deliver within the limited span of time in the class. You cannot keep answering a one single query. And that's a limitation of paucity of time that is always prevailing in education system. We have to complete our syllabus and everything is there. So then somehow he might get disconnected, or this teacher is not able to tell me or make me understand the concept. So that is where the AI and technology might be of instrumental use. AI will, is transforming education. We discussed that in detail, that how we can, it's not about training AI all the time. We should sit together and interact in a way where my prompts are actually, somehow making an interaction environment, and then use it for the effective learning environment. That's the personal examples that I shared. And then finally, we have to understand and embrace and address those challenges, which are very much important. So finally, just a line that technologies and teaching work, we have to put together where the students or learners, they are empowered, they are, and this will empower both educators and learners in a data-informed, personalized journey. So that's the thing. So with this, I'm done with my session. If you have any query or discussion point, we can definitely take up that. So if you wish to connect with me, you can please note down my email ID. I'm prompt to respond by day end on email ID. So for any academic even research kind of thing. So we can definitely connect. So that's my email ID, ankit.saxena@gla.ac.in. So my side is over. If we have any query, we can take up that query for the session.
Participants, if you have any query, you are free to answer. Even you can text in the chat box. I hope all doubts was cleared, and thank you so much to all the participants.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And now I'm requesting.
Sir, I have, excuse me, sir. I have
Yes,
asked the queries on the chat box. Can you see, please?
Okay, okay.
So, ma'am's query is, what is future trends for adaptive learning, sir? What is future trends for adaptive learning?
As of now, what I discussed and we understood that as of now, it's in in India. If I say it's in infancy stage, we are starting with some very, very basic integrations with some learning platforms. That's what we are doing right now. And a clear-cut difference, I shared that example of my cousin that who was studying in Canada, and the moment I saw that portal, I was amazed. So the structure and the way the entire session, the entire course has been planned uh, on a parallel LMS portal. That was the amazing thing for me. I have been very, very enthusiastic about technology integration in learning and teaching. It was way better than I could imagine. So what I see, let me be honest with you, what I see in the future, probably the integration with platforms might not be that feasible for all of us because it comes with a very heavy cost engagement. These companies are charging per learner some certain kind of subscription fee, which is there. So probably universities will start developing their own learning management system in a way which caters this particular need for one particular course. That is going to be the immediate thing that we will see happening right now in few of the institutes. It will be happening in next 3-4 years, and then probably that will keep on improving in terms of facilitating the adaptive learning in the classroom teaching.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your expertise. Now I request Mr. Ashwant Reddy to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Our strength lies in our differences. A diverse workforce fosters innovation, creativity, and a dynamic work environment. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. As we come to the end of this insightful session of FDP on innovative pedagogical strategies using AI and digital platform, it is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ankit Saxena for being a part of this wonderful event and giving an insightful session on adaptive learning technologies, customizing education for every student. Your presence has made it a memorable and a successful session, sir. Thank you, sir. Leader is one who leads us in right path always. One such leader is our head of the department, Dr. Vijay Kumar, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable support and guidance. I also extend a hearty thanks to the faculty coordinators of our FDP and all the faculty members of our department. Thank you, dear teachers. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants who have joined today for this session. Thank you once again for your support and participation. I remain.
Thank you, Ashwant, for you also. Ashwant, sir, thank you. By this, we come to the end of the fourth day of FDP. Thank you so much to all the participants for your active involvement and enthusiasm throughout the program. Once again, I thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. We'll meet you tomorrow again. I remain. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a great session. Thank you very much.